Hello, 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 and welcome to A Cup of Meg and Joe with me, your host, Meg and Joe. How are you guys today? How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. I have a Starbucks double shot energy drink in my hand, and I shouldn't, because this contains milk, so it's gonna mess me up. But I got it the other day because I really needed it, and it was the only thing that was in my options. I didn't have many options, and it says it supports focus, so that's why I got it that day. But anyway, so today I have a can of coffee, not my usual go-to, but this is what we're working with right now. So, with that said, happy Monday. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about change. I know that within the past 3 episodes, I've been dabbling on life stuff, because life stuff is just, prominent in your everyday life, right? Obviously. But right now I'm specifically going to talk about change because it's a big thing that's happening in my life right now. So to give you a little update on what's been happening within the past week, I have been a very, very, very busy gal. I've been tired, and the change has happened because I just started a new job, and I am in some intensive training, and my sleep schedule has changed. Everything has changed. My morning routine has changed. So I'm a little messy in my brain. I'm a little messy in my brain, but we're still going strong, and the intensive training is all really, really fun. So to tell you a little bit about my new job, because we're transparent here and we share things, not too much, but we share things. I am in training to get my RBT certification. And an RBT is a registered behavior technician, also known as a behavior therapist. So I got a new job recently for that position. So right now I am training in that to be certified to implement ABA, which is Applied Behavior Analysis. And it's been really, really fun. It's been a lot. It's been really intense learning, and the way that the training is happening, it's kind of like a live cohort. Yeah, it's a live cohort. Oh my God, I can't say it. It's a live cohort. Oh my God. Let me try that one more time. It's a live cohort setting. There we go. And I feel like I'm in class. So I'm kind of getting a feel of what school is going to be like, and I kind of like it. And trust me, it's very different. I have not been in school in years, so this setting is new to me, but also familiar. It's been very fun. It's been very intensive. We're learning so many things about behavior and about therapy and about just all the things that go under the bracket of ABA. And if you want to look it up, you can look up Applied Behavior Analysis, and a behavior therapist implements ABA therapy. So that is what I am in training to do, and then I will get my certification. If you have listened to episode 2, you know that I am going back to school for music therapy. So you're kind of, you might be wondering, wait, I thought you just said you're going to school for music therapy. Why are you trying to be certified to be a behavior therapist? Well, my friends, it is a little step that I'm taking in between. It's not required. It's not any of that. I'm just doing it, honestly, for fun. And because it's a really great job, and also it's a really great experience, and I kind of get my foot a little bit wetter in the field, and I get to dip my toes in and really hone in on the aspect of therapy and working with one-on-one clients and all of that. So it is very different from music therapy. Obviously, it's behavior therapy. So you're working with, I will be working with individuals on the spectrum and helping them with support throughout their daily life activities. Music therapy helps you in different ways, but you can also work with individuals on the spectrum. You can work with people who have cerebral palsy. You can work with people who have apraxia. You can work with preemies. You can work with people with speech disorders. Like, there is such a wide array of everyone you can work with in every field. So I feel like, and I also know that this training for me, this certification for me, this whole learning experience for me is going to be really good for my future career, and I can implement what I will learn now into my future path, and it just all can intertwine and meet in the middle. And I think that's what's most exciting about all of this. And I really love learning. I will say that I really love learning and learning all these new things, and also being able to relate it to life and real life. If you don't know what applied behavior analysis is, it's a therapy based on the science of learning and behavior. So that is what I'm learning right now. It's been really fun, and you don't realize how much you use it in your everyday life with your friends, with your partner, with your parents, with your dog, with everything. Look it up if you haven't heard about it. It's so fun, because I'm not going to go into all detail of what it is. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a little synopsis on that part of my life right now. And then that just involves a whole lot of change in my sleep schedule, in my morning routine, in my daily route, in the daily things that in my daily schedule of life. Within the past week, I have been gone from my house for a solid 9 hours. And that is not usually what has been happening for the past few months. And if you're wondering, I'm also still music teaching. I won't leave that job. I love that job so much. So I'm kind of doing two at the same time, which brings me into, I didn't mean to start this segue this early, but that also brings me into the balance of things. And I think that just goes into everything that I just said with the change and everything. I think change and adjustment to change is really, really, really hard. And I think that's sometimes, change can happen if we're moving to a new place, if we're starting a new job, if we just got fired from a job. And I feel like those are the times when we're most hard on ourselves, because we're going through a certain thing. So we're like, I have to get used to this right away. Like, this is what I'm doing. This is my new life. And like, this is what's happening. But we forget to give ourselves grace in those moments of like, yeah, we're going through a freaking change right now. Like, it's not something that you're going to get used to overnight, or in a week, or in 2 weeks, or even in a month. In my experience, a change and an adjustment to change can take as long as 8 months, as long as a year. And but within those months, within that period of time, you're making slow adjustment every day, every month, every week, and all of that. But I feel like it takes a very long time, at least for me. I don't know about anyone else, but I don't know about you. But it takes me a very long time to get used to change. And I just think change is something that is really, really hard. And honestly, I'm really tired. I'm really, really tired. But I will say I'm tired, but I don't feel lazy in that aspect of tired. Like, I'm tired because I have been waking up at 6:30 every day and not getting home until like 6:30 p.m. And then having to make dinner, having to do something else, and having to just all life, And so I'm tired, but I'm not unmotivated for the rest of my day, if that makes sense. Like, I have a lot of momentum right now to keep going, because this is what I chose to do, and this is what I want. I think it'd be a different story if I wasn't enjoying training and I, all that stuff, but I'm having the most wonderful time. It's a lot of learning, and it's a lot. I feel like my brain is just expanding every day as we're learning new things. And it's also cool because we do role play and we act as client or we act as therapist, and we're able to act out one-on-one sessions, and then also act out errors if there are any. It's honestly just a really cool experience, and I love it. I love it so much. And my God, I keep going off. Hold on, can I take a sip? I have not taken a sip this entire time because I just keep rambling. Hold on. Yum. That was really good. I only have a little bit left because I drank some of it already. Anyway, so my friend Brittany, my bestie Brittany, asked me to talk about change and adjustment to change. And I think that's perfect because I've been going through a hell of a lot of change within the past 8 months. And it's kind of just been like one thing after another. And I think I've briefly talked about that. But I also think that right now I am finally landing in a place where the change feels really good and not harmful to my mental state. And it feels like it's going to be smooth sailing from here. I mean, granted, anything can happen, but I just feel like I've landed in a solid place in my change adjustment period, like where I feel good right now. I'm very tired, like I said, but I feel very excited to go to work every day, and that is something that's how you know that you're in a good place, in a good like working environment, because you're excited to get up in the morning. And I enjoy that feeling. I don't know about you, but I enjoy not dreading waking up in the morning to go to work. I love being able to, you're tired you're tired in the morning, but you can still get up and like be groggy and everything, but still enjoy that fact that you're going to the place that you enjoy working at. So, I mean, we're only a week in, but honestly, compared to a lot of other jobs I had, like, you know instantly whether you like the place or not, whether you like the environment or not, whether you like the job or not, whether you like the people or not, or just the entire environment. And you either get a good vibe or you get a bad vibe. And I'm getting a really good vibe. So I'm going to roll with it. I love it. And, man, I feel like I was talking about a change period. Oh, so I had a big change period within the past 8 months, and that was moving to a new city. And it honestly messed with my mental a lot because I left my home. I left my friends. I'm not that far away. I'm only like an hour and a half away, but like I left my friends, I left my familiarity, I left my comfort zone. And I think that's a huge thing with change and aspects of like moving. And I left my comfort zone, and then I moved in with my partner, which was also a huge change. And I mean, those are all like, I could touch on all of those on like another day when I could go into like super, super duper specifics if you want to know. But I just think that like change is change within change within change within change. Like there's so many aspects to it, and you kind of just roll with it. There's no real way to go through change. There are no right or wrong answers. It's just how you go about it. But one thing I think to remember is to give yourself grace in the moments where you're like being hard on yourself about the change, and just remembering that like, oh shit, yeah, my life hasn't been consistent for the past year, for the past 2 years or whatever, and I just moved, so I have to remember that I'm still getting used to a lot of things. That's something that I think even I forget that I don't forget that the pandemic happened, but like when I think of the past 3 years, I go through thoughts of, oh, this is where I was at. This is where I was at in my mental state. This is where I was at in my physical state. This is where I was at in my emotional state. And I think about all those things and I reflect. I'm a big reflector. And then I kind of forget that some things, like some sad things or some depressing things have happened in those times. And it is truly because we went through a pandemic. Like, I'm thinking about like jobs that I've lost, or not going out a lot, or losing my social skills in some sense, and becoming an introvert, becoming more of a homebody. And I think about those things, or I think about like not being able to spend time with people and all of that. And then you forget that there's that little thing of the pandemic that happened. And then you're like, oh shoot. Yeah, all of us freaking went through that. And we have to just remember and give ourselves grace that we're all just living, man. Like, I know that I sound so cheesy sometimes when I say that, but we really are just ebbing and flowing through life. And I think that's change. It's ebb and flow. You ebb and flow through life. You roll with the punches. I just used two expressions in one to explain what I'm saying, but I think you know what I mean. Okay, let me access my notes so that I can stay on a specific topic. I wrote in my notes work, life, friends, relationship, and you. And I think I wrote that in terms of what can be affected in your period of change, in your adjustment period. And I think that all goes with balance and having to balance everything, but also thinking that you have to have it all together, and you really don't. Like, I don't have it all together. I barely have it all together, but I'm just doing my best. And from the 4 Agreements book that I talked about in episode 3, 2, 1. One of the things that is the part of the 4 Agreements is do your best. And you can always do your best. And I've really have recently wanted to replace the word try in my vocabulary to the word do. And because we're always doing, yes, there's, trying is also makes sense, but we're also always doing our best. And that's all we can do. And in terms of balance and having to feel like you're juggling everything when you're in a period of change, it's hard, man. Like, when I first moved, I could not keep track of anything. And I am a person who needs to keep track of everything. Like, I color code my Google Calendar. I make my to-do lists, and I do it in a bunch of different colors because I need everything to be organized and in check and like properly balanced. So when things are not balanced in my life, I feel I forgot what those things are called that have like the 2 weighing scales on the side, but if you can visualize what I'm talking about, that is what I'm talking about. I'm not going to look it up right now, but it feels like that, or it feels like you're juggling a bunch of balls, and you're not a juggler, so all of the balls are just flying away. And when I first moved, I could not keep track of, like, I couldn't stay consistent with my sleep schedule. I couldn't stay consistent with keeping up with my friends. I could also never be consistent with like eating at the right times. Like, everything was just affected. So I think that that's like just a huge thing when change happens. But I also wrote the word you in there because all of these things, you need to always remember that like you need to take care of yourself. So for example, like, I'm really tired, or I have been really tired, and I don't want to neglect that feeling. I don't want to neglect me feeling scatterbrained or tired or anything, and I'm not just going to brush it off. So I definitely have taken moments where I just like sit and just do nothing. Like, there was a time, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday when I came home from work, there was still more work that I was assigned to do from home. But when I got home, I was still so tired because I did not get enough sleep. And instead of being like, oh, shoot, like I have to run and do this right away for work, I just took like an hour to decompress and get my brain ready for the next thing that I had to do, which allowed me to do it instead of like going in just being like super tired, not wanting to do it, So just remember to give yourself some time to decompress. I think that falls into what I said last week too. It's just like staying mentally fit. Last week on Thursday, my roommates and I had a little dinner party with our friends, and we had, I think, about like 10 of our friends over, and it was the most magical time. It was so nice because I was getting home from work from just a really long day. Like, I think I got home at like 8 p.m. that night because I also had a doctor's appointment that I had to go to after work. So it was just a very long day. But the one thing I was looking forward to was going home and coming home to all my friends there. And when we got home, oh my gosh, all of my friends were just there like cheering on and just being like, ah, yeah. And some of my friends were saying like, congrats on getting to school, congrats for starting a new job, and just like just a warm welcome, just because we were all so excited to see each other. So that was really nice. And that was something to look forward to. And even though I was so tired, seeing my friends, I think, gave me the most energy that I needed that day to get me through the rest of the night. And we just had dinner. We played some games. We got to talking. It was really fun. So I think also just making sure you have things to look forward to, and seeing your friends is a big part of just like making sure you're okay. Because one thing in the topic of just like change and all of that is, in all of that, you have to make sure that you're okay. And it's also okay to not be okay in that time, because like change is a lot, man. And like, I know that I keep sidetracking and saying a bunch of different things, but that just shows you where my brain is at right now. It's just everywhere. But I think that's what like truly, sorry, I had to move. I think that's what truly just goes into change. It's just about like balancing things, but also not having to have everything perfectly balanced at the same time. And I mean, my schedule is going to be the same as the past week for the next 2 weeks. But then after that, I have to go through another minor change of my schedule changing, because I'm going to be out of training and in my actual work schedule. So that schedule will be my permanent schedule. And then I will be actually working in the field. So then that will be also a change, and that will be something that I have to get used to. And I feel like you can never really prepare for change. Like you can't really prepare for change the way you prepare for like a vacation. You can't really pack for it, like it just kind of happens. And that's how I feel like you're kind of just thrown into change. Maybe you can do things within the change to like prepare yourself, but I don't think you can ever be fully ready for change. And I am a firm believer that change can always be a good thing. It might not always feel like that in the beginning, but some things, like when I have gotten let go from job, when a while ago, years and years ago, when I was let go from a job, I took it as like the most heartbreaking thing. And it wasn't until like months later that I realized that it was a true blessing in disguise. But that change, like going through that, was like really hard. Does that fall into change? Yeah, because I was falling into, I changed, my schedule changed of like working every day to then not working every day. Oh my gosh. And then the biggest change of all that we all at the same time went through was the pandemic. Oh my God, that is a long topic. I'm not even going to get into that. But like, we all know that we went through that, and the shit that changed, that was the biggest change of all. And honestly, I think we're still going through it. So that's what I mean. Like, an adjustment period can just be a very long time. We're always going through change. It's ebb and flow. And like, yeah, I just want to learn how to balance things, not perfectly, but to a place where I can feel okay and not super scatterbrained. And I think that will just come in time to when my schedule is finally like the permanent schedule, and I can stay consistent with everything, so that everything else in my life, like going to the gym or filming my podcast or doing yoga or anything like that, or spending time with friends, spending time with myself, spending time with my partner, like when one thing finally becomes like consistent and you finally can like check that off and like, oh yeah, I'm finally getting used to it. I feel good. Then that's when you can like trickle into the other parts of your life of like trying to navigate when you can do this or when you can't do something or all of those things. Did any of what I said make sense? I feel like I was just going from topic to topic to topic to topic. But I just feel like change is change, man. It's a lot. And I am going into this change now with kind of just an open mind of anything can happen within this change. And I feel like if you welcome it, it'll be a good thing. And if you're resistant to the change, then it might not be that great of an experience. So I think just like just open your arms, just have like welcome the change with open arms, and just anything can happen within change. That's a tongue twister, just saying that a million times. But yeah, I just wanted to share that because I am 1,000% in that right now. And I literally told you guys like 3 episodes that I was going to be going through a major change in my life soon. I didn't know it was going to be this soon. And I feel like this is like the first aspect of change that I'm going to go through. The next is going to school and doing that for 3 years. I'm so excited for that though. The next episode, I want to touch on like consistency of life and having like not like, because oh my god, because right now I feel like I've had change happen to me so much within the past 3 years, with moving, getting a new job, having to leave that job, moving again, then trying to get a new job, and all these things and all of that. Oh my god, imagine the change, the feeling of change in you that you don't even know what you're feeling, and it's literally just the adjustment period, and you wonder why you're feeling so anxious and tired or grumpy or something every day, and it's literally because you're just in the adjustment period of your change. But anyway, that's been my life kind of for the past like 3 years, so it's just a whole freaking bags of change. And I am very excited to enter the part of my life where things can finally stay consistent. And I think that starts when I start school and when everything else happens from there. But I'm going to touch on that in the next episode. But I kind of just wanted to talk about change in this one and how it makes you feel and how it can really fuck you up sometimes, not going to lie. Like it's fucked me up. Like before all of this, before this version of Megan Joe that you're listening to right now, I was going through a very weird adjustment period of change, and that was moving, trying to get a new job, getting a new job, not liking that new job, getting sick, getting COVID, having it mess me up for 3 months, and then going through the change that I felt after I got sick and I finally came to life was insane. And that's who I am right now. And that's where like I think that's why I feel the most motivated to do things right now, because I was in such a freaking hole. But we're getting off topic, but that's just on the topic of change and all of that. And now all of that change has led me into this change. My God, take a shot for every single time that I've said change in this entire episode. Change is just a lot. Oh my God, so many things go into it. So many things with your mental, especially. I think that like it just feels like a lot. It can feel very overwhelming. I'm a person who gets very overwhelmed very, very, very easily. So especially when I'm going through change and it affects every single thing. I mean, change inevitably affects everything in your life, or at least if it's like a big change. But I love change, and like I love changing my hair. I know that's a very small thing, but like I love changing my hair when I'm going through a change that's challenging for me. I change my hair because that is the only thing that I have control over in that moment. So then after I cut my hair, I feel good about it because I'm like, okay, cool. Like I dealt with that and now I can go through anything. Now I can do anything. It's that kind of feeling. Do you guys, do you ever feel like that? Well, I think, let me just double check my notes real quick. I think that was like all I had to say. Yeah, I said going through change is hard. I'm going to read you guys my notes just to make sure I said everything. Here's an example of my list. I always have to have a list. But change and adjustment to change. Under that, I wrote going through change is hard. It's an adjustment, and it can either take a short or very long adjustment period. Regardless, there is always a period of time you feel like you're in this weird state of like, holy shit, I need to balance everything. I mean, yeah, I talked about that. Work, sleep, life, friends, relationship, you, making sure that you have, not making sure, but like, just giving yourself time to do all the things that you want to do and not beating yourself up about anything that you can't do. I think that's one of the biggest things I think I forgot to mention is like I self-sabotage a lot in ways of just like my mental and being like, oh, like why couldn't you do this? Like you have so much time, or you didn't tend to this, you didn't tend to that friend, you didn't do this, or whatever it may be. And I've had some of my friends knock some sense into me and be like, why are you beating yourself up about it? You're literally going through something right now. You're going through a change. And then it's like I literally like I get pushed back and I'm like, oh, you're fucking right. Like you just don't, I don't know, like in the moments of change, you don't realize it, that you're going through something. Or like in the moments of when you're making your brain go stir crazy, you don't realize all the stuff. But I feel like we're all victims of that. I personally victim of sabotage. I said sabotage. And then I said new job, and I'm starting training right now. My sleep schedule is messed up. Getting used to a different routine, a new sleep schedule, and a new route. New route, by that I meant like I'm literally this like driving like a whole like 30 minutes away, which was something that I wasn't doing before. Not me driving, my partner driving, because I don't drive. Fun fact, I don't drive. But anyway, I think I've touched all the points. If I missed any, please let me know. My handle on Instagram is Megan, MEGAN _J0. If I missed anything, let me know. I want to have discussions with you about more, and I do have to cut this episode short because I have to leave. See, it just never ends. I can't even just sit down. But I did want to make time for this. So the small amount of time that I had, I wanted to use it to talk to you and to catch up with you and tell you what's been up. So I would like an update from you guys. Tell me what's up. Talk to me on Instagram. We can talk. We can also talk on here. You can just like scroll up and write some comments if you want to on Spotify, if you're listening to this on Spotify. And I definitely didn't touch on every single thing on change, but I just wanted to talk about my personal experience with it in the past and also right now. I couldn't dive into like so many details of the past, but I mean, we're here, right? We're here for the long run. So, I mean, I'm definitely gonna spill that in somewhere, But I will end that here because I do have to run. But I will talk to you guys next week. I will talk to you next week, and I hope that you have a very wonderful Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your feedback. I love the feedback. That's my favorite part. I very much just love sitting here and talking because I'm just a talker, but I do love the feedback of it because it helps me get to know you. It helps me get to know what you want to listen to, and it helps me sit here and know that you or one person at least is listening. So thank you so much. I will never stop saying thank you from the bottom of my heart. And what are we going to leave with today? What are we going to take away from today's episode? I think just, change is change. Life is, you just ebb and flow. Oh my God, here I am talking like I'm a freaking life coach again. I've just been in a really big adjustment period of change, and all of this change has led me to all of these things that I'm telling you, all of these new things that I've been learning. And I mean, that's why we're here, right? To talk and share what we've learned, to share everything. So to tie in the topic of change, everything that I have been telling you, everything that I have been sharing with you has all been a result of all of the change in my life. And we all go through it every day, every month, every year, whatever it may be. But I think change brings you such an enrichment to your life that you don't maybe not realize in the moment, but it's such a wonderful thing, change. So I'm going to end with that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I will talk to you later on the next episode, next Monday. And I'll meet you back here. Be there, be square. Just kidding. But seriously. But yeah, I'll talk to you later. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And bye-bye.